If I told you that your business was slowly failing, would you want to know? As your best financial friend, I want to be honest with you. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about just that. Well, hey there. I'm Kimberly Ferguson, CEO and founder of Emerald Expectations Accounting. I'm so happy that you're here. The Emerald Corner is a place where life and business meet. So we want to share with you the process of running a business while maintaining a life with your loved ones. So today's video is going to be a little bit different than some of our other videos because it's time for some real talk again, okay? If you have missed my previous real talk videos, I will go ahead and link them up there for you. But this is a series where we get real about what it's like to be in business, okay? No sugarcoating, no fluff. All the fun stuff is gone. I'm sorry, but sometimes we all need a good friend who is just going to be honest with them. So that's what I'm here to do today, okay? Like I said in my previous videos, I want to be your best financial friend, okay? So that's what I'm here to do. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about why your business might be slowly failing, okay? So long story short, if you're not paying attention to your financials, then your business is slowly failing. I know that that seems like a very broad statement, and it is. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't know where you are financially, then your business isn't going to last. The number one reason that businesses fail is cash flow issues, okay? And you may be thinking to yourself, I don't have cash flow issues. It's not a problem for me. As soon as you kind of get into that mindset that it's not a problem, that's usually when you become complacent. So you don't think as much about where you're spending your money or how you're spending your money or how much of your money you're spending. You just look at your bank account, you see there's money in there and you spend it, right? As soon as that happens, you start to get complacent. And then that is when your business starts to spiral. So if you're in that place right now, I beg of you, take a look at your financials, see where you are. If you have an accountant, get with them now. See where things are compared to where they've been in the last year or so, and make that comparison. Make sure that you're not on a downward trend, right? The other thing is, if you don't have any goals for your business, like if you don't know where your financials are and you don't set financial goals, or you don't set any goals, then your business is slowly dying. And the reason for that is usually if you're not working towards something, then you're standing still or maybe even falling backwards, right? Backsliding. And so we want to always have something to work towards. It doesn't necessarily have to be money. I don't usually recommend that people have only money goals because money is fleeting. I want you to have goals like spending more time with my family or going on vacation or traveling or, wherever, doing more hobbies, whatever that looks like. I want you to have goals outside of your business too, but you have to have something to work towards, because if you're not moving forward, you're standing still or going backwards. Neither one of those is great in business, right? Businesses can die really quickly, and it's a scary thing. And it's something that a lot of business owners think about in the beginning because they think, how am I going to survive? Like, I have to think about this for my future and for longevity and making sure this is something that I can really do and make money at for a long time. But it seems like after you're in business for maybe 5 years, 10 years, something like that, you kind of get to this point where you don't think about it anymore. You're just like, my business is going to live. It's doing great. It's never going to stop, right? What happens if we have a recession? What happens if we have a depression? What happens if we have lots of inflation? Inflation goes crazy. Will your business survive, right? Now, if you're not having goals, if you don't have plans on how you're going to deal with that kind of stuff, if it does come, then your business could die really, really quickly, right? And so we don't want that. I don't want that for you. I'm sure you don't want that for you, right? So we need to do what we can now to make sure that our business is financially stable so that it doesn't die, right? And so if you are not moving forward, that means you're slowly dying. And when those things come, it's going to be quick. So another way that your business might be slowly dying is if you have more debt than assets in your business. This is especially tricky in the beginning, but when you start and you kind of have that situation, then you kind of hope that the revenue is going to go up, and therefore your cash on hand is going to go up and your revenue is going to go up, and that's going to increase your assets, right? And hopefully decrease your debt, right? But for some reason, there seems to be a point between 5 and 10 years again. And I think it's cyclical. Businesses move in cycles, right? So probably in another 5 or 10 years, you might end up in the same situation. So you have to be vigilant in business. This is just something that as business owners, we have to do. We have to constantly be aware. But if you have more debt than assets now, that you've been in business for a few years, might mean that you're taking out too much money for your personal expenses. So if that's the case, I know that one's really tricky, but there are some options, of course. One option would be, to have another source of income. So maybe that means you have to go get a part-time job for a while so that you can be supporting yourself without having to take as much money out of the business. Another option would be to look at your personal spending and make sure that that's in line. So if you look at your profit and loss, because you're doing that now, right? Or your income statement, and you see at the end of the month, this is how much money I'm going to have left. So let's just say it's $5,000. So if you take more than $5,000 out of your business, then you are draining the cash flow that your business needs to succeed. So if you do that, a couple months here and there, not a big deal, right? If you do that every single month for, an extended period of time, that is going to kill your business. That is also going to give you that liquidity ratio below 1. And that is a telltale sign of a business that is ready to fail, right? So you need to be really careful with that, because that is a dangerous position to be in. What I want to see as far as liquidity of your business is I want to see at least a 1-to-1. So I want you to have at least as much assets as you do liabilities, because otherwise you're just going to, it's going to tilt in the wrong direction and you're going to have more debt than assets. And that's really hard to recover from. I work with people every day who are in this situation, and the next steps are, what we've talked about, figuring out where your finances are, making sure you have goals in place, making sure you are setting yourself on a path to success and to change the situation that you're in. So if you're at a 1-to-1, then you're okay, but we definitely want to improve it, right? We don't want to go the other direction. And then if you are lower assets than debt, then we really, really need to switch our focus so that we can get that debt paid down. Okay. The other biggest thing is, like, when you're thinking about buying an asset, I want you to think about making sure that it's going to be a cash flowing asset. So you don't just want to go out and buy, assets just to keep your tax liability down, because it doesn't make any sense. You don't want to go out and buy assets just to buy assets, right? If it's going to be something that's going to make you money, then that's a good investment. If it's something that's going to sit and do nothing, or it's only going to last you for a very short period of time, then that might not be a good purchase. So make sure that we're weighing the pros and cons of every purchase that we make, especially large purchases. And that'll kind of help you to flip the switch and help decreasing your spending right away, and therefore increasing the profits that you're keeping. So profits equal higher assets, right? That's what we want to see. So if all of this stuff just sounds foreign to you, then it might be time for you to hire a financial person to help you. So an accountant, a CFO, a bookkeeper, anyone who can help you understand this stuff, to help maybe even advise you on which directions you want to go, because there are 15 different drivers in business. So drivers of revenue, profit, cash flow. And it's really helpful to have someone to say, focus on this one. Over the next 30 days, I want you to do this. And that's going to get us to where we want to go, right? So if you don't have someone doing that for you, then I highly, highly recommend that you do. Because that's another sign of a business that might be failing, is you have no financial literacy and you don't have advisors to help you, right? Even if you have an advisor, someone who can help walk you through all these situations, you still kind of want to have some general know-how. If you look at how many millionaires are still millionaires, like people who've won the lottery, that kind of stuff, how many of them maintain their money? It's actually a pretty low percentage. And part of the reason for that is because they hire advisors, and those advisors take advantage of them because they know that they don't know anything about money. So it's important for you to figure that stuff out. It's important for you to take the time to learn about your financials and learn what it means for your business. you should be able to read your financial statements. You should be able to, at a very minimum, know what your numbers are. And if somebody asks you, what's your gross profit? You can just say, well, it's this. Even if it's just a percentage, my gross profit is 80%, my gross profit is 90%, whatever that is still way more than a lot of small business owners today. So if you get your financial literacy increased and you have a financial advisor, I mean, that's like a killer team right there. If your business is slowly starting to fail, then that could be just the step that you need in the right direction to turn things around, right? And the last one that I want to talk about as to why your business is slowly failing, but you don't know it, is because you think that you know what your financials look like, but you don't actually look at them. This is one, a hard one to kind of explain, and two, a hard one especially to start to counter, especially as a financial person. So if you think that you know the answer to why your business is not doing well or why you're potentially having cash flow issues, right? And it's not because you've taken a look at your financials, it's just because you think you have a feeling, you're spending more money in one area, so that's got to definitely be the problem. For example, payroll, like if you have, just hired somebody and it's kind of taking some time for them to build up your revenue, then obviously you might feel like that's the answer. It's payroll. Payroll's the problem. And to be honest, payroll might be the problem. But do you want to guess or do you want to know? Do you want to know what the problem is? Or do you want to just go off of, I think it's this, it's probably that. I feel like it's that. And I'm not saying that to be mean. You might be right, you might not be right, but if you're not actually looking at the financial data to confirm your thoughts, to confirm your feelings, then you don't really know, right? And this is something that you want to be certain of. You want to be certain of the financial health of your business, right? And let's just say that the problem isn't actually your payroll, it's actually that you've been taking too much money out of the business, or you've taken on too much debt and your revenue can't sustain it. So if it turns out to be something else, then you want to know, right? You want to know what steps you need to take to resolve that. But if you just think you know and you never actually verify it, then your business is probably going to die, or it's on that path. So you can decide now to make the change and find out if you're right and confirm, or you can just keep going the way you're going. And I can't tell you how much longer you'll be in business. Hopefully it's a long time. Maybe you just have a natural knack, a natural tendency to know exactly how much money you're spending. And if that's you, then that's awesome. I mean, truly, that's awesome. But it's still good to look at the financials, confirm, make sure that you're right. That way you're making decisions based off of the data. So this is happening because we've got financial statements, right? Not just how you're feeling, what you think, what you're expecting, whatever that looks like, right? I don't know if I said this well enough in the beginning, but I'm telling you this because I'm your friend, right? Because I want you to have a successful business. I want your business to thrive and I want it to last. I mean, ideally, I would like for your business to last beyond you, right? Or if you want to sell it, then it can be your retirement, whatever that looks like for your specific situation. I want your business to succeed. So if you're falling into one of these traps, one of these pitfalls, then I want you to see it now while there's still time for you to fix it. Because I want that business to thrive, not just survive. I want you to have time with your family. I want you to be able to do your hobbies. I want you to be able to travel. I want you to be able to have all of those personal goals, and I want you to be able to meet them, right? So I hope that you see this video for how I mean it, right? Well, thank you so much for spending just a few minutes of your time with me today. I hope that you have a fantastic day. I will see you in my next video.